guys, today I'm going to be doing the How I Read book tag, which was originally created by Enya from Enya's Corner, who also tagged me to do this. So if you're watching this, thank you so much for tagging me. I love the questions and the tag, and I think it's really creative how she came up with these questions. So I'm excited to do it. It has been a couple months since this has been out and since I was actually tagged to do it, so I'm a little bit late getting on the bandwagon. But if you have not done this tag yet and you would like to, feel free to do it and say that I tagged you and tweet me on Twitter that you did do it so I can check out your video, because I love this and I love kind of sharing and spreading around other people's tags, especially when they're really creative and fun. I'm just gonna jump right in and get started. Okay, the first question is, how do you find out about new books to read? And for me, that has been BookTube. I joined early this year, and I have been finding out about all these books from the years past and from the current period in time of books that I need to read and new ones that are coming out. So pretty much my go-to source to find a book is through BookTube. I do get a lot of emails from Barnes & Noble and Books A Million and stuff that show new releases and what's been released this week and that kind of thing, but I pretty much keep up with it through YouTube and through other booktubers. Next question is, how did you get into reading? And I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I've been a reader ever since I was little. I think I really started to read like chapter books when I was in, I think it was 3rd grade, and I know that Harry Potter is a huge reason of why I love to read and why I really got into reading. But I know when I was little, I used to like all like the little baby books, like the picture books, like the Hungry Caterpillar book and the Biscuit little dog books and things like that. And I always enjoyed those. And so I know that after the first 2 Harry Potter movies came out, I think I read the 3rd book first. I believe that The Prisoner of Azkaban was the first book I ever read. And I think it was because somebody in my 3rd grade class was reading, and ever since Harry Potter, I just have been into reading. I used to read a lot of Nancy Drew books as a kid. So I think that's what really got me started and interested in reading, because you guys know those books are phenomenal. And so that is really how I got started. And the rest is history. How has your taste in books changed as you've gotten older? And really, it's kind of developed a little bit over the past year as far as drastically changing, but I would say in high school it's changed too, because when I was in middle school and kind of elementary school, I really liked the Nancy Drew, Harry Potter type of books, but I also read a lot of the teen young adult books, but the ones that I would say were more like girly kind of oriented. Like I read a lot of the Click books as a kid. I loved the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series, and Gossip Girl, and just all of the ones that were really like girly kind of books. Also a lot of the summery beach ones I really loved in middle school and kind of elementary school. And then of course, as I've talked about before, when I got into high school, I kind of didn't really read as much. I did branch out a little bit more in high school. I think I got a little bit more interested in just like the whole realm of YA, but I only read a handful of books in high school besides required reading. So this past year, I've really gotten into a lot more dystopian and, you know, just different genres within YA, a lot of contemporary and things like that. So I think it's just changed for me in that I've gotten back into reading and I've gotten more involved and more kind of knowledgeable about what's out there and what's popular and what people are saying is really good. So it's changed a lot for me. It has progressed to books that are not just the clicky kind of girly books. Next question is, how often do you buy books? And this has changed a little bit recently, but I usually am pretty good. I've been pretty good this year in the fact that I'll buy them when I've kind of read what's on my shelf that I want to read. So I don't go overboard at all, and I don't really have a ton of books on my shelf that have not been touched or that have not been read. And the reason for that is I'm also still trying to catch up. As I mentioned previously, I'm so behind on all these popular books that when I buy a book, I usually buy something that's on my, you know, immediate TBR list. So I want to read it right away. So once I kind of get through all of those, I go out and I'll buy some more. I'll buy 1 or 2 at a time if I'm not really feeling what I have on my shelf. So I've been good, although when there is a sale, like the recent Books A Million sale, I've been a little bit crazier than normal. I've just kind of racked up a little bit more. So I have a little bit more that has not been read on my shelf than usual, although nothing, you know, too crazy. So I do buy books, you know, every month. I would say I buy anywhere from at least 2 to 6 books a month. But I don't just keep buying and buying and buying and not reading them. Number 5 is, how did you get into booktubing? And this is an interesting question. And if I'm correct, I believe I found the booktube community in the fall of last year, and I'm pretty sure that that is true because I created this channel in November of last year, And the reason for that was because of The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I read The Perks of Being a Wallflower and I saw the movie, which I loved. Fantastic movie. One of the best book to movie adaptations I've ever seen. And so I remember, you know, looking up just stuff about the movie after I got home that night. I was watching some interviews with the cast, which included like Emma Watson and things like that. And I ran across Tiernan from the BookTubers book review, movie review of The Perks of Being a Wallflower. If you guys know Tiernan, you know that his favorite book is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. So of course he had a video on it. And I found it, and I remember being really interested in his videos, and I thought that it was really cool that he talked about books. And somehow I found, I think right after that, I found Priscilla from The Readables do book reviews, and I found all of her book hauls and book videos and discussions and things like that. And I remember going through and I was watching all these videos, and I decided, you know, I want to make a channel. I want to do this because I do have a beauty channel that I have already had for a couple of years that I make videos on every once in a while. So I'm familiar with YouTube. I wasn't scared of uploading videos or anything like that. So that is how I found BookTube. I made a channel thinking I want to do this, but I never put a video up. And then I went to an event in April of this year where I got to meet an author that wrote a book about Harry Potter. Her name was Melissa Anelli, and she made a book called, I think it's about the Harry Potter phenomenon. I think it's Harry, A History, and it's about the actual Harry Potter fandom and phenomenon. And I went to see her, and it was an amazing event experience. I loved it. And after that, I became so inspired to keep reading and to really start BookTube and all of these videos. So after that night, I went home and I made my introduction video, which is uploaded. And I also made a video talking about that event, which I had privated. I never made it live. Just because I felt like it would be strange to upload as a second video. Maybe I'll show you guys one day, but that was what really inspired me. So that is what pushed me to start these videos, and I've been making them ever since. But to answer kind of where I found BookTube and why I really was initially interested was because of Tiernan, the BookTuber, and Priscilla. So that's kind of how I found the community. It made me interested in making a channel. How do you react when you don't like the end of a book? And I've been lucky because for the most part, the last probably 30 to 50 books I think I've pretty much liked for the most part. I haven't read one in a long time that I really did not like in some way or another. I, you know, think some are a lot better than others, but I haven't read a book that I've hated in a long time. So if I don't like the ending of the book, usually it's because I either wasn't interested in the book that much, or either it was some big huge plot twist that was completely like taken by surprise and like something that was unexpected. And so I'd say if there's something that I didn't like and it was something that I was attached to, like Vampire Academy or Harry Potter or something, I probably would be really upset and probably would be in like a state of shock, like kind of like I was with Harry Potter. Like, you guys know, if you've read it, some of the really dramatic and, you know, sad things that have happened in some of those books have been really monumental events, and they're kind of like take you by surprise. You're almost in shock a little bit. So I've never been really angry with the way something has ended, because usually it works out in my favor, but I would probably be really upset if it was something really dramatic. How often do you take, or how often have you taken a sneaky look at the back page of a book to see if it's a happy ending? I never do this. I refuse to do this. I'm almost even afraid of accidentally doing this. Like, I try to look a lot of the times to see how big a book is or how many pages it has, and I'm really paranoid, kind of OCD about it, to the point where I'll, like, you know, make sure like I don't see any words on it at all, or that I don't peek at all, because it terrifies me to ruin a story. I hate that. To be honest, I rarely watch book reviews on YouTube, even if they're spoiler free, just because I like to go into a book knowing nothing about it, or as little as possible, just to formulate my own thoughts and kind of really experience it for myself. So I never do that. Okay, and the last question is, how many people are you going to tag and who are they? And I've already answered this question, and I don't think today I'm going to tag anyone specifically, just because this tag has been out for a couple months now and I don't know who has and hasn't done it. So if you'd like to do this, please say that I tagged you, and please link Enya's video in your description box, because I think that she did a great job making the tag, and that it's a really cute tag. So I hope you guys enjoyed my answers to the questions, and I would love to know yours. You can even leave me a comment below sharing some of your answers if you don't make videos, and I would love to see that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye guys!